think it's broadcasting.
It is. It should be broadcasting. All right. And we are live. This is the Artists Together Roundtable. And if we're not live, then the joke is on us. My name is Lee Moretti, and this is Neil Belt, my co-host. And we have with us today the illustrious Lady A, her producer John Oliver, and Blxck Cxsper. How are you guys doing?
Wonderful.
Blessed. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Oh, excellent. Really happy to have you guys here. It's a real honor. Just little brief introductions. Lady A, I know that you're known as the hardest working woman in blues and soul and R&B. It's an amazing title to have. And you have a career that spans like 5 albums and since the 1980s, which is also super incredible. And John Oliver, I know you've worked with her throughout that time, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. I'm really excited to get your perspective on the production side too. And Blxck Cxsper, born in France, if I'm not mistaken, currently in Montreal, the founder of Trans Trenders, and an incredible artist in your own right. I'm really happy to have you guys here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah. So, Lady A, I think we're going to start with you as terms of the interview. Can you tell me a little bit about your sort of musical style and your influences? I know you've been singing since age 5, and you grew up, in gospel and in the blues, and then you started performing professionally in the 80s. So, how was it for you coming up? You were on the West Coast that whole time, correct?
Correct. For most of it, my career, yes, I was on the West Coast. I grew up in Seattle. When I got married, I moved to Florida. I grew up in church. Coming up in church, I was a, children's choir, youth choir, and from there to the young adult choir. I was a choir director at 16. Started directing choirs, the Gospel Music Workshop of America, choirs around the city. My choir, Greater Mount Baker Baptist Church, shout out, y'all. And from there, just started singing. I was a karaoke singer, and from there into the Sonny Byers Motown Review. And I was a backup singer. I was used to having my back to the audience, but people kept pushing me. People like Sonny and John and Gary, my former bass player, who has since passed away. They pushed me to be out front. Because when people came to our show, it was Lady A. I was just Lady A. And then I needed a band when Mrs. Thompson of Thompson's Point of View here in Seattle. Everybody in Seattle knows where that is. If you're over 40. Yeah, you young people. But Mrs. Thompson asked me to put a band together, and I was already singing like in 3 or 4 bands at that time. Back in the early 90s, you just sang in everybody's band. And so I was doing that, singing in different bands as Lady A. And she wanted me to put a band together. So I called on my friends and just said, hey, want to be the Baby Blues Funk Band? So we became Lady A and the Baby Blues Funk Band for years, until I decided to go solo. And that's due to John, my producer, John, my Seattle producer. He's my cheerleader, my silent cheerleader back there, my little brother. I love him, though. We're going to keep him for another week.
Excellent. That actually segues right into another question that I had, which is that, how long has your relationship, been, John, with Lady A, and how has the production experience been? And sort of what have been like the changes that you've seen over the years, not just with her musically, but just, with the whole process of producing an artist of her caliber and all these changes over the years.
Right. Listen, let me say this. I think I've known Lady A longer than she's known me, just because I was aware of her before she was aware of me. So, she said Greater Mount Baker. That was one of my church's sister churches. I went to Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church, and I was this up and coming drummer who was horrible. I mean, I was a horrible drummer. They used to kick me off the drums. Let me tell you how bad I was on the drums. I was so bad that, I'd go to all the rehearsals. I'd learn the songs. I thought I was playing it like the album, but I was horrible. Because on Sunday morning, listen, Sunday morning, the choir director, and it wasn't Lady A, but the choir director at my church would stop the song. They'd make me get off the drums and stand and ask for another drummer. Some random guy in the audience, come up here and play, right? It'd be like some guy that hadn't played the drums in like 20 years. You come and play instead of this guy, right? Literally, they kicked me off the drums. And I'm saying that to say, even with Lady A, I was still young. I was trying to find my way as a drummer. And so I know I wasn't her first choice, but I knew a lot of people because I was in her band and she didn't even know I was there. But the thing is as a producer wise, I watch and I listen, right? And so all of her career, I've watched her. I've watched and I've listened, and I watch mainly how people respond to her as an artist. Mm-hmm. Even as a backup singer, we were both in the Sonny Byers Motown Review. Yeah. Sonny Byers Motown Review, we did a lot of weddings and private parties. So at those parties, the audience responds differently. They're gonna get up and dance, right? So as soon as you play some, ooh, bet you're wondering how I knew, even if they're eating dinner, you see their foot tapping, right? Mm-hmm. And so as the evening progresses and Lady A gets let loose, the audience just goes berserk. They just love her show. So over the years, I've always watched that. So my way of producing her is to write songs that fit her. She loves the blues. Mm-hmm. The band and I, we love funk and R&B and Motown and all these other styles of music. So I wanted to write songs that challenged her as an artist, but also as soon as she got up and sang them, the audience responds, mm-hmm. right? Because you guys know this, as independent artists, you can't have any wasted energy when you get up in front of the audience. You need to see an impact right away, right? Like think about when Michael Jackson, first did Billie Jean, right? Even though we weren't there live, we saw it on TV. And he came on and the audience was yelling. And when he did the moonwalk, oh man, listen, my Baptist father was like, wow, that was amazing. So, but the thing is as independent artists, and as a producer, I wanted to write songs with Lady A that not only fit her style, but also get the audience involved. So her and I, we've written songs based on how we felt or how we wanted the audience to feel. Like her first album, Blues in the Key of Me, we wrote a song together. I wrote a song for her. That's the title song, Blues in the Key of Me, because she has her own style of blues, right? And it comes from our background, our gospel background. Jazz, vintage R&B kind of sound.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I really love Lady A. Your sound really does have this vintage quality. Like it seems, at least to me, like very steeply rooted in the foundation of blues and soul. But it also feels very fresh and very modern and very lively, super present, which is an amazing thing to have.
Yeah, I have some great writers, and the songs that I write are true to life, and I write with people who know me. Mm-hmm. John has known me. He's really young, which is why I didn't want him in the band. And when he tells you that he's really in the band, and I didn't know it, he's telling the truth. Because my guys in the band kept saying, you need to get John Oliver. You need to get John Oliver. And I was like, man, that dude is too young. He's going to, I know his whole family. He's too young. I'm not trying to do that.
Ageism.
Ageism. Right. But it was the right thing to do. Once he got in the band, because when I get on stage, I go 120% on stage. Mm-hmm. And the guys would get scared and they'd be like, you need to slow down. I'd be doing this show and I'd go from 0 to 60 in 2 seconds and take the audience with me. So John kind of helps out because, as you can hear, he can sing. He can sing the phone book.
Listen, what's funny about that? Lady A, listen, Lady A always wanted to do these fast blues songs. And so, you know how she's saying she didn't want me in the band because I was too young. The truth is that she couldn't hang with this young brother. Because listen, she said, you know what? You guys is always doing funk and this stuff. I just want to do blues. So I said, okay, let's do a blues shuffle. And we counted it off. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it was this tempo, you know. She couldn't hang. After that song, we had to take a break. She was done.
That's when I started throwing shoes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we've been together for a long time.
Lady A is her own artist. She's always had her own sound. And as a producer, I've always tried to not only bring out the best of her, but push her even to her own limits, right? Because the one, you know, it is as producers, we have to pitch songs to artists. And every song I pitched to Lady A, some of them, she didn't even respond. Right? Some of them, like, I came in, I'm like, Lady A, this is gold. This is gold. This is the one. And I would play it for her, and she wouldn't even respond. And I would just go home and
I'd be like, I'm not singing that. I'm not singing that.
Yeah, she would call me.
Not being the hit of the CD.
Neil, do you want to take the next question? That's amazing.
I know. Yeah, both of us together is not
Oh, good. This is awesome.
So, my grandmother's from Louisiana, actually, and I have this horrible problem where I can't really eat spicy food. It's like a curse in my family. Yeah, right. So, but the only thing I could like tolerate is my grandmother's gumbo. Like, I would like force myself to deal with the aftermath. So there's a connection there for you between the gumbo and gospel. What's that all about?
Yeah. Well, my people are actually from Alexandria, Louisiana. So my people are from Louisiana. Yeah. So my mother is a gospel singer. So she grew up in church. So my mother is a gospel singer. My father liked jazz. My grandmother liked blues and R&B and soul. So I had this round mixture of, when I went to my grandmother's house, I knew Tyrone Davis was going to be playing, or some Etta James, or some Bobby Rush, or some O.B. Wright. That was going to be playing at my grandmother's house, or some James Brown. You know, my mom would be singing gospel. She'd be singing gospel around the house. My father liked like Jimmy Smith. I love Jimmy Smith and Coltrane, and the Crusaders. Y'all don't know nothing about that. The Crusaders, Joe Sample. The old, some old stuff. Yeah, ageism. But so when I write music,
that's not good.
I don't entertain you.
I'm saying it negatively.
I love you though. I love when young people like my music. And so when I write about what is happening today and what is going on. But in the back of my mind, like, since I don't play, I'll pitch something to John, and we have our brother Dexter down in Jackson, Mississippi, who's our Mississippi producer. So I'll pitch something to them, and they'll go, okay, so what did you have in mind? Because I'll just have lyrics. But in my head, I've been humming. So I'll hum something like Honey Hush. That has a James Brown funk feel to it. Mm-hmm. So I'll say, yeah, it's supposed to go like a James Brown, but not James Brown. And I want that lick. And fortunate for me, they understand what I'm saying. And then they pitch things to me that I think that I would never sing, but they turn out to be amazing, amazing songs. Cabbage and Cornbread, John wrote that for me. And when I first heard it, I said, oh no, honey, I'm not singing that. I don't even sound like that. I realized that I have a unique sound. And I didn't embrace it when I first began, because I was singing cover songs. But when you start doing your own music, you have to find your own sound, something that makes you different from everybody else. And I know my sound is different from everybody. And I enjoy it. And some people do. Thank y'all.
Absolutely. I'm in. This is already still really an amazing time. So one thing I also wanted to ask you about was the ladies' luncheon, because I've seen you talk about it on Instagram, and I've researched it a little bit, but could you tell us all a little bit about that? Because I know people watching would probably want to know too.
Sure. You know, over my career, I have built a brand. And so for me, and this is me personally, I don't just sing just to sing. So I sing so I can give back. So I produce shows, and I've always been setting myself up for the day whenever I could retire, because I've worked a day job as well as sung for all of my career. I've worked. And so the Ladies Luncheon came out of, it's one of the shows that I produce. It's for women. It's to empower women, to encourage women, to lift one another up, and it's women from all backgrounds, all cultures, all races, all religions. It's just women. And it started because I asked, you know, I was touring and gigging so much that I never got to see my girlfriends. So one day I posted on Facebook, I just want to have lunch with my girlfriends. Y'all, you know, I'm going to be home for a whole week and blah, blah, blah. And I had over 200 women say, I want to have lunch with you too. So, and I'm serious. That's how it got started, 3 years ago. And so I said, well, you know what? If we're going to do that, I want it to be encouraging, because after you tour and after you've been on the road or you don't get to see your family, and the only time when I am home, I'm asleep, you know, because I'm tired, because I'm working a day job.
We're having a little bit of a connection problem.
Yeah, pardon me?
There's a little bit of a connection issue. I think we missed some of that.
Yeah, we missed some of that. I would say go back about a sentence, but now, because now you're good.
Okay, so I think I was saying this with old people, you can't ask us to go back, but but I was saying that I wanted to encourage women. So I decided, you know what, this is a way to give back. So it started with a ladies' luncheon to empower, to inspire, and to encourage women, and at the same time give back to the community. So I think the first thing we gave to was, I gave to a math class. There were some teachers that were teaching math to kids. And I decided, well, part of those proceeds are going to go to teaching those kids and helping those teachers. And now I give to the Rhapsody Music Project. I usually get 300 or 400 women that come to these every year. And even through COVID and everything that's been going on, I wasn't going to do it at first. And then I said, I am going to not let COVID stop me from doing what I normally do. So I just invited women and just said, you know, if you can give us a $20 donation, part of those proceeds go to the Rhapsody Music Project. The other part goes to helping the presenters that come and volunteer their time. They actually come volunteer, but I believe in paying people for their time, even if it's just a little bit, you know, to help them. And so I hope women will come. It's via Zoom. We're going to do it on Zoom. All you have to do is send me an email to Lady A White, which is LADIA White @gmail.com. And if you don't have the money, don't worry about it. I have women that always give more so that other people can come. And that's the wonderful thing about it. It's an amazing. Go. Please do.
I'll tell you right now, I'm going.
I'm going to post the link up on the thing while we talk. So.
Yeah.
Look, I've got Shakura Saeda, who is an amazing vocalist and life coach from Canada. I've been on the Her Majesty tour stage with her. She is amazing. Queen Carter from Seattle, who is my play daughter, so I'm kind of biased. She's a life coach, inspirational woman for young women. So you're going to love her. She's young women. And then I have Precious Coleman, who is a music therapist, who you're going to love what she's going to do just to relax you to some good old music. And we have Ann Harris from Chicago, who is an amazing violin. If you have not seen Ann Harris, look her up, girlfriend.
Yes, I absolutely will.
So you're going to love it. And that's September 26th at 11 a.m. But it is private. So yeah. Come on.
Perfect.
Get your swag bag. You need to get your stuff in swag bag. I'm mailing them. I'm mailing them out.
Well, yes, this is so great. So I had a couple more before we have you do a performance for us, and one I suppose is to touch on the Lady Antebellum situation. So in terms of like what your feelings on that entire thing are, I would love to have your thoughts because I actually I studied music business in college, and the truth is, like, the name should be yours. And I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not going to be PC about this. The name should be yours. There really is no, there's really no.
It's kind of simple, right?
You were using it in commerce. I don't care. You were using it in commerce for 20 years. And what the law says, actually,
It's okay.
because what the law says is that whoever uses it in commerce first is really the one who keeps it. It's not about who owns the trademark. So it's one of those things where it's just, I think we're all here because we very much support you. And in terms of the arc of that, I would just love to hear any thoughts you feel that you have.
My thoughts are simple. They need to give up the name because in order to change your name, it must be a change. Not shorten it, not use your nickname.
Yeah.
I always go to their words.
Right.
And they said, as a band, we have strived for our music to be a refuge, inclusive of all. We've watched and listened more than ever these last few weeks, and our hearts have been stirred with conviction and our eyes opened. If that is a true statement in the wake of George Floyd, which they said, I didn't. So for all you people out there who keep saying that I brought race into it, I never brought race into it, even though I am Blacknificent. I did not bring that into it. They brought it in. So if you're going to make a change, then Lady Antebellum needs to make a change. Lady Antebellum to Lady A, we still know what it stands for. Do not insult our intelligence. And that's all I really have to say about it. I mean, it's pretty simple. This could all be squashed. It was a missed opportunity for them, but it can still be fixed. It still can be. People make mistakes every day. If I didn't have forgiveness in my heart, I'd probably be running around here like a crazy woman. I believe that you should forgive people even when they make a mistake, and they've made a mistake. And I think that they should either go back to antebellum or get on live television and tell people that Black lives really didn't matter. We made a mistake. And then I'll let you keep the name. But other than that, I'm going to fight to the bitter end because it's necessary. I don't want anybody else to feel like something can be just so easily taken from you because somebody has more money than you do. I've said this over and over again, and I hope people, especially people who have followed me for most of my career, I still have some of the same audience members who have followed me since the day I started singing, that still will come and see me at a show. I don't care if I have 4,000 fans, 400 fans, or 4 fans. Those people have supported me, and I owe them a debt of gratitude for buying CDs, for buying T-shirts, for whatever support, for showing up for me, for being sponsors. So I feel that responsibility to them. I feel a responsibility to my community, to the kids that I mentor in the Rhapsody Project. This is not just about me. This is about our community. This is about us as human beings. We should sometimes, you have to do the right thing. And in order to be an ally, you need to be willing to give up something and put actual action behind your words. So that's all I feel. I mean, this could be very easily squashed. and rectified. We can all come back together. I have no ill feelings towards Lady Antebellum at all. I would love to do the right thing. I'd like for them to do the right thing and change their name. And then we can all move forward,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a blessing. Yep.
Yeah, well, that's, I think, actually a wonderful, if you are feeling up to singing us some songs, that is what I would like to hear.
Okay. So I'm going to do a song for you. I'm going to do a song that came out right when all this began. And really, I'd written it because of all of the murders that we continue to see on television, all of the strife that we're all going through. Excuse me while I drink some water. The truth is loud. And that was a song that I wrote because I believe that people don't hear us. They're not listening, but it's loud. And we've been saying it, the same things over and over again. So I hope you enjoy it. And I hope I do this right. Whoops, that didn't go right. Check. Check one. The truth is loud. Do you hear me? The truth is loud. The truth is loud. Do you hear me? The truth is loud. Homeless everywhere. Take time to share. Immigration laws, they pass. Government's always trying to cover them. Our children are in the streets, come up missing every week. The truth is loud. Do you hear me? The truth is loud. The truth is loud. Do you hear me? The truth is loud. Can't even eat popcorn on your couch. Police with guns to your head in your own house. George, Eric, Sandra Bland. Just how much more do you think we can stand? This change is taking way too long. Got blood on your hands, abroad and at home. I say the truth is loud. Do you hear me? The truth is loud. Do you hear me? Rent sky high, no matter where you live. Always taking our money, so the others we can't give. Schools mistreating our children, drawing bullets on their heads. Are you still trying to tell us you want us dead? Mothers are crying, fathers too. You just caged another child. We see you. Children in courtrooms, wondering where mama and papa at. Judge giving them new families. What you think about that? You're showing your true colors, showing your hand. You're always taking. This ain't your land. The truth is loud. But do you hear me? The truth is loud. The truth is loud. Do you hear me? The truth is loud. The truth is loud. The truth is loud. The truth is loud. Can you hear me?
I'm gonna clap. That was great. That was wonderful. Actually, the sound is coming through awesome. Your voice sounds incredible.
Does it? Okay, because I can't hear. So, but yeah, that song means a lot to me. You know, in the wake of George Floyd, of Cxsper, I can't say his name. Blanjo Castile, Sandra Bland, Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin. I mean, there's so many And it's like, how loud do we actually have to be for you to hear the truth, for you to see the truth? So the truth is loud. I hope you liked it.
Yeah, no, it's
song.
wonderful. It's a great meditation on obviously a very pertinent, important subject. Where is it available on anything that you currently release? Like, is it on Spotify? Any of those places?
Yes, it's on Spotify. If you can find me, so you actually have to put in "The Truth Is Loud" because right now, I'm having antebellum problems. Don't be real.
Right.
Hashtag antebellum problems. I'm gonna start.
Okay, I said it, but I didn't say do it.
Thanks. Cool.
It's fine.
Do it.
Antebellum problems. And so, yeah, you can find it on Spotify, Amazon. You can go to my website, which is ladyabbyblues.com, and download it there. I am going to pretty soon, because I'm getting ready to put out another single. This is the first time I put out a single. Usually I've been putting out albums, and that was the first single that I put out. It's up for Blues Music Award consideration and Grammy consideration. So
Ooh.
That's just consideration. My name ain't on the paper yet. We gonna see. But hopefully somebody is listening. Yeah. So that's just one of the songs that I really, really connect with. And it came with everything that else is going on, with all this. I like to make sure that people know I'm not just an artist. I'm an activist as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're never going to make me shut up. People get on Facebook and say, why don't you just shut up and sing? Your mama. No.
Come on.
My thing is that I was an activist. I've always been an activist, so I'm always going to speak up for those that are less fortunate, those that are disenfranchised, those, homeless, like, immigration, the whole thing. I know, I do too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. And do you have one more for us too?
Sure. You really want to hear me sing another?
If I had my way, we would do this for just go on a marathon.
Okay.
We should mute while she's
Yeah.
so
Let's do this. This is for my grandmother. Back in the day, on 22nd and Pine, my grandma fried fish, Gordon's gin and wine. Friends and family, music live. My daddy pulling up, big, bad, and proud. Kids in the backyard, clothes hanging on the line. Miss Pauline and my mom and them, wigs looking real fine. Right about then, somebody started to cuss. I could hear my grandmama saying, honey, hush to you girls when y'all are talking trash. Honey, hush to that sick talking man that makes you want to laugh. Honey, hush to the kids when they make you want to fuss. Honey, hush. Say, honey, hush. Listen, watching my mama getting ready to hit the town. It's white glove, black and tan when they was around. Silver wigs, high heel shoes with long, pretty white gloves. A child burst with pride. My heart was filled with love. We supposed to be in the bed. You don't hear mama fuss. In the back of my mind, I hear my dear say, honey, hush to you girls when y'all are talking trash. Honey, hush to that sick talking man that makes you want to laugh. Honey, hush to the kids when they make you want to fuss. Honey, hush. Say, honey, hush. Look, down in Jackson, Mississippi, place I'd never been. I was hanging with Dexter Allen, him and all his kin. Sunday dinner at Miss Ruthie's house. She made such a fuss. I said, girl, that food is good. She said, honey, hush, when the food is so good you can't get enough. Honey, hush, someone makes you mad, you think you want to cuss. Honey, hush, when you and your friends are carrying on and such. Honey, hush. Say, honey, hush. Hush. Ha. Say, honey, hush. Say, honey, hush. Say, honey, hush. Say, honey, hush. Down in Jackson, the place I'd never been. I was hanging with Gangsta Allen, him and all his kin. I said, honey, hush. Say, honey, hush. Honey, hush. Say, honey, hush. Honey, hush. Say, honey, hush. Say, honey, hush. Child, my grandmama always says, honey, hush. I heard about Lee and Neil. Neil can't eat no gumbo when it's hot. Honey, hush. Honey, hush. Lee says she coming to the ladies' luncheon. Woo! Honey, hush. I heard Black Cxsper is getting ready to do all that and some more. Baby, all I got to say is, honey, hush. Say, honey, hush. Honey, hush. As a tribute to my grandmother, Miss Elnora. Honey, hush.
Woo! Yes. Yes. I love it. Especially Neil Candy Gumbo.
I was in a song.
Neil was in a song. I was in a song.
That,
I feel really, really good about it.
believe me. That's right. If you come to a Lady A show, I always put my audience in my songs, no matter where I go, no matter where I am. It's always fun. So don't ever tell me anything personal about yourself.
Oh my God. This
I
is
thank
such a
y'all
pleasure.
so much for having us. It's been wonderful.
No, absolutely. And we're gonna do our interview with Black Cxsper, but we're gonna pose some questions to the group. So if y'all want to hang in, and you can, this is where we're headed. So Lady A, thank you so much. Like so far, this is just so so incredible. I think it can be difficult to try to just ask a bunch of people to get online with each other and have a chat. So it's just I just feel really wonderful about this already. And it's obviously because you and John have such amazing energy, and Cxsper, just everybody's been so open so far. So yay.
John needs help. He needs help. Black Cxsper, you're going to be helping out.
Yes.
Thank y'all. We're going to stick around.
Yes, Black Cxsper, let me hear you, friend. Wait, what's happening? Yeah, hey, how's it going?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Oh, excellent. So, my Jillian and 1 in a Million Media, our partners are your publicists, and that's how I first got to hear of you. And I have to say, I think your music is incredible and really amazing and super, super fresh. So I wanted to start with the fact that, so you're native to France and you're currently living in Montreal, and your big influences, right, were American and German artists, primarily.
Honestly,
right?
Every type of artist, but I had this, when I was a teenager, I was obsessed with Tokyo Hotel for a minute.
I love Tokyo Hotel, actually.
Listen, I was trying to be a straight girl at a time, and I was like, oh my God, the lead singer of Tokyo Hotel is so hot and stuff. And homie was mad androgynous. That's why I thought he was hot. I was not a straight woman. And so, I was obsessed with Tokyo Hotel for a minute. But I had a lot of different little obsessions on different artists. For a while, I was also obsessed with Billy Crawford, who's a Filipino. And then a bunch of French rappers and stuff, and basically language has never been an issue for me when it comes to music. And so I didn't speak English up until I was like, I think I was 17 years old when I started speaking English. And at first, like, you know, I didn't, when I was 15, I remember my English teacher being like, nah, you'll never be bilingual. Like, you're way too far off. And it's like, well, look at me now, you know? But,
Yes.
but yeah, so it was like listening to music that you don't understand the lyrics of is different. And especially like it makes you a different producer, because I'm always, whenever I'm producing somebody, I'm always telling them like, you know, you gotta put your soul into it, and I need to hear the lyrics even if I don't understand them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I need to feel it. And so for me, like it really changed a lot of ways that I approached, you know, making music and stuff like that. But yeah, so I have influences from everywhere. I also like started making music. I lived in West Africa at the time, in Niger. That's where I really, really got into music. And you know, music over there is like, yeah, it's a mix of hip hop and like traditional African music. And it's just like, you know, I'm also like my dad is from the West Indies, so French Caribbean, and you know, that type of music is also an influence. It's like I just get influenced by everything, you know. I think it's important because I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's super important, I think, and incredible to have like to bring an international perspective to music at any time somebody has the opportunity to do that. I think it can make their you know, what they come up with like even more powerful in a way. You want to take a question? Should I keep going?
I like listening to you.
Okay. My next, because I've like had so many questions for you since I started listening. But was there anything in particular that sort of inspired you to go into music and become an artist professionally? Like just the love of it, or did anything kind of catapult you in that direction?
Honestly, I think it's because I felt like I was not being listened to growing up, you know? And that's always been an issue where, yeah, I feel like people don't hear me. I feel like people don't see me. And so for me, it's like a way of expressing myself. And for example, like I started off like writing poetry, but it was like the minute I learned how to read and write, I was writing poetry. And then in elementary school, I had a teacher who, you know, you had to learn those poems by heart, and like everybody hated that. Like, I don't want to, so boring. But like this teacher came to class with a guitar and started singing those poems and was like, okay, we'll learn them now. And it just came in like, and I was like, oh my God, so you're telling me that like my poems, I can turn them into songs. And so I started writing songs. I was 5 years old, 5, 6, 7, you know, around that time. Like I've been writing music forever, literally forever. And the first songs were terrible, you know. I wrote like 1,000 horrible songs before.
That's everyone. That's me. That's everybody.
Right. And that's also something that, you know, a lot of people stop, you know, when they're like writing bad songs and they're like, oh, it's bad, I'm not made for this. And it's like, no, you got to get them out of the way, you know, you got to get that stuff out of you first. But yeah, and so for me it was really, I don't know, because like the culture in France is very different than here, and it's very, I don't know, there's like we don't really talk about mental health. And when it comes to family stuff, it was not like emotional. There was not an emotional connection in the way that it's like I didn't feel capable of talking and expressing myself, and I didn't feel heard, but also like I didn't know who I was, you know. And the thing is, I had nobody to like kind of talk about that. And for me, it's more than music is more than just something that's fun, especially when you think about like being Black and like the relationship that Black people have with music is like healing, you know what I mean? It's like liberation. And so for me it's like it's how I heal, you know. Yeah, and it's just, I don't know, for me, yeah, music is just, it has this other layer too. Like I said, you don't need to understand the lyrics to be able to understand a song, because music has this different depth to it that just grabs your heart, and you can express yourself in a way that you can't with words. And so yeah, for me that's how, it's not like it became my job because I don't see myself doing anything else, you know what I mean? But when I feel bad, like I write music all the time, and if I write 100 songs, there's 10 that gets released, you know. So for me it's always been about like just like healing, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible, and an incredible answer. And I think I definitely relate on the. I had a French teacher actually in high school that tried to help us to get to the next level with the language by introducing us to French hip hop. And I don't remember the name of the artist, but I bugged him for like weeks to get like the name so I could go buy the record. Which, you know, there was no online platform at the time, so that the CD had to be mailed to me from France. um And as far as so Trans Trenders is your label, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I've been to the site, and I love the merch particularly. So when did you start it, and sort of what inspired you to start it?
Yeah, so I started the label 4 years ago. At first it was a mixtape, so I curated and produced a mixtape called Trans Trenders. You know that that had 14 trans artists on it. And and so basically my goal was to like show people that trans people can do anything that other people can, and that we can do it without resources. So imagine if you give us resources, what's gonna happen? And we did the live launch in New York City, which for me at the time was like, I mean, it's still now, it was a dream come true because, you know, growing up like next to Paris, like dreaming about like the US, like, oh my God, the US is like the ultimate platform when you're a rapper, and no French rapper has made it like big in the US like that, you know? So for me, it was like a big dream come true. And so, but like the launch was also like, it was amazing because you just, for the first time in my life, I was in a space where I felt normal. You know, I felt like everybody was looking at me because of who I am and not because of like, you know, the fact that like I'm trans. Because for me, the fact that I'm trans is like Drake, the fact that he's from Toronto. It's like, yeah, it's a detail about my life, but it's not who I am. Like I'm a human being, and there's so much more layers to who I am than just like my transition. Like, and when I work, when I make music, I'm not it doesn't, it's about the music, it's not about my body, you know? So yeah, so for me, like in that room I felt so seen, and I felt normal, and I felt like I could finally be myself and be valued for who I was as a person. And the next day, honestly, I felt so depressed that I was like, you know, this is not a mixtape. This has to be a record label. I had no idea what I was doing, like no idea what I was doing, but I did it anyways, you know, and I learned throughout the years, and now it's like 4 years later, and what we've accomplished is like ridiculous, you know.
Yes.
I'm sorry, my dog is like, every time I'm on camera, she's like, okay, let me come hang out in the room. But then she has to move all my covers around my bed to make herself a little seat where she's comfortable. So that's the noise in the background. I'm sorry.
No, that's totally understandable. I had to kick my cat out. My cat likes to hide in this office, like underneath clothes and stuff. And I had to find her underneath a whole bunch of stuff to kick her out of the room, because I knew that if she was in here while we were doing this, she was going to be all up in my shit.
Yeah, she's pretty terrible.
She's pretty terrible. We both agree that she's terrible cat. Cats are terrible in general, even though we love them. But it is an enormous feat to have decided to do this record label like on your own and not really know where you're. And I honestly think that some of the best things that come about and are sort of born creatively happen when you do them despite the fact that you don't exactly know what you're doing. Like I think if it's like inspired in somebody, then you just do it. Doesn't matter if you have like whatever the quote unquote skill or whatever the case may be, because I think it's a wonderful label, and it's got a really strong brand. Like I think it's just an incredible feat, really.
And I think it's just,
connected.
You know, not having resources doesn't mean that you can't do it. And I think that's a lot of like, for me, I thought I couldn't do it at the time. I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. But it turns out like how many labels, you know, get like that far in 4 years without any funding and end up being featured on like Grammy.com and stuff. So it's like, no, actually I can do it, you know. And I think that's also like what I'm trying to prove with Trans Trenders is like, brilliance and intelligence can look a lot of different ways, and it doesn't matter if I look like I'm 12 years old and I'm covered in tattoos and I curse and I wear my ass on like you know, I wear my pants under my ass. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. Still, I mean, I can still be professional, and when I step in a space, I should be allowed to like walk into that space as who I am and not change my language, not change my behavior, not change nothing, and still be perceived as professional and as capable as the others. And I think for me, that's like a big thing that this whole process showed me is like now we're working with people who look at us like they've never met people who are as professional as us, and we all look like we're 12 years old. You know, trans people look very young. That's not our fault. It's just I don't know. You know what I mean? But yeah, and so for me, it's like very important. Yeah, to like be yourself and not, especially like when you look at record labels nowadays, like those contracts are ridiculous. Like, you know what I mean? It's like artists get exploited like it's nobody's business. Like, it's ridiculous. And I think, like, I'm glad that I didn't know what I was doing, because the way I formatted it and the way that, like, you know, we came up with the contracts and stuff, it's like contracts that are very ethical, because, like, the label itself doesn't take any royalties from the artist. The artist keeps the right to their songs. And basically, it's like, yeah, we take like a 10% booking fee, like because we're also providing management services, and we split the profit on merch sales, which means as long as the artist is not making money, the label is not making money. It's a terrible business plan because we're broke as fuck. But anyways,
but it's ethical,
right? And the thing is, like, I would rather like especially when you're working with like people who have never been represented in the industry before, because there's no Black trans people in the mainstream industry right now. Like, there's not that type of representation, is just not there yet. And when you're working with people who like are seen as like jokes and like freaks by the rest of the world, like, it's a financial risk. Like, you have to take a risk and you have to lose stuff in order to gain stuff later down the road. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't have nothing to lose. I'm a migrant too. I don't have nothing to lose. Listen, nothing to lose. And that's why I'm the one doing this, you know, because it's also like where I'm working full days on this, like more than 8 hours a day. And it's like, there's no paycheck at the end of the day, but it doesn't change that. Like, I don't know. I would rather be struggling while doing something that I love, that I know that later down the road is going to build like a solid foundation for me and my people, not to be struggling again, than like make money fast and be alone. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And actually, so this is also connected to the Ghostly Beats project a bit, right? And so tell me about that, because I thought the concept was fascinating. It basically is a whole catalog, right? So of beats and tracks that can be accessed by trans artists just for writing songs.
It's a lot of different things. So at first, that's what it was. Like, basically, I posted on Facebook and I was like, around like June, when around like the George Floyd incident, because like all I was seeing on my Facebook feed was just pain and violence and pain and more violence and more pain, and it was just traumatizing. I have a very hard time. I can't look at those videos. I have a very hard time with that type of things. But anyway, so for me, I was like, I want people to heal. And how do I heal? With music. And if you're going to heal with music, might as well make money from it. I make so many beats. I can just, you know what I mean? I make so many beats. I can make a beat in like 15 minutes. And it's like, they're good because I've done thousands of them, So I know the formula. And I'm like, if I know how to do that fast, and all it takes for somebody to make music and make money from it is to have a license to my beat. Like, you're a Black trans person, come in my inbox. I'll send you beats. You can use them however you want. You know what I mean? And so at first that I posted on social media saying that, and then it became like, okay, well, now my friend Mila, who's a Black trans woman from Dallas, reached out to me being like, oh, I have a little unemployment money and I want to redistribute it in the community. Like, can you help me do it? And I was like, okay, you put $100, I put $100, and we're going to redistribute to artists that want to cover the like distro kit fees, to like release their music on, Spotify and all of that. So we did that. And then we had different allies reach out to us and offer different type of services. So then we built like a forum where Black trans artists can go on the forum, request services, and allies can offer services for free, obviously. And so they can be like kind of like, that exchange of service. And the goal is really to like push people to have a product that they can monetize. But you need money to make money. You need resources to make money, especially in this industry. And so for us, it was very much like, if you have you know, your song and everything, and you put it on Spotify, and you can have performances with it. You have somebody that offers like graphic design services, then you can like do so many things with that after that down the road, you know. That can like be a career starter for a lot of people. And so that was part of it. And then we started like a collaboration with Studio G Brooklyn. And so that became like, because we're a record label, we help all the artists with the forum, but then on the side, it's like we sign artists. And so on the like signing part, like basically now our artists are recording in like facilities like Studio G Brooklyn, where with engineers who have like been nominated for Grammys, who have like a mainstream reach, you know. And yeah, so it's like we basically depend on allies. That's how we work. We have a GoFundMe too, and that's all the funding we get pretty much. But like we're able to like provide our artists with like free services that are like mainstream quality. And yeah, and basically like what I'm trying to do is like be the little push that pushes like, you know, artists into the mainstream industry. And then you got the resources, you got the team, you got the money, you can do whatever you want after that. But we need that first push, you know.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know.
No, absolutely. And you know, I before you perform, because I can't wait to hear you perform. I have just one more for you, which is that I saw your article in Billboard, which is so great, super great. And so how do you feel that like the mainstream music industry and the mainstream media, like how do you feel like received, I guess, so far, both you personally as an artist and also the label?
For me, it doesn't mean anything until the music hasn't been featured the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Because Black Lives Matter is all cute and stuff, but then put your money where your mouth is. And I know people are not gonna like, I'm that type of person. I don't care. For me, it's like, yeah, you showed that you're an ally because you're sharing the mission statement of my label. Are you gonna share the voices when they come out? Are you gonna share those songs? Are you gonna interview the artists? Are you actually gonna help us put those songs, you know, in the top 40 and stuff like that? Like, are you gonna help, or is it just like about being like, oh, look, we support Black trans artists because we share the mission statement? And so, you know, yeah, for me, it doesn't mean anything until I haven't reached a goal that I set in mind. I'm still like, you know, it's because also a lot of people started like acting like now we're rich and stuff. But like I said, our only funding is in the GoFundMe. I'm a migrant. I lost access to like government help during COVID because of this. Canada is just acting out. But anyway, so it's like I don't have a source of income right now whatsoever. I'm struggling. And for me, it's like I'm still surviving every day. That's my job. I'm surviving on top of doing transgenders. And until the day that like me and my people in the label and everybody, like until while we're worrying about eating and rent and stuff like that, those milestones don't mean anything. Because me, what's going to mean something is if this actually brings security and safety to my people. If this actually changes our lives, and if we're not like, I don't want to be tokenized and I don't want to be visible if I'm not safe at the same time, because visibility without compensation is violence.
Yeah.
It is what it is, because you see that now trans people are more visible and trans people get killed more often now. You know? And so for me, that's it. So I just want to make sure that like, you know, just like all those mainstream artists that are always like Black trans lives matter. Well, for me, that doesn't mean shit until you don't feature a Black trans person on your track. And so for me, that's what I want to see. And up until those moments haven't happened, the press is cute. But what is it going to do for us? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm very radical in my way of thinking. And I know I'm also like, yeah, but I'm also not capable of celebrating stuff like that up until I see results. So yeah.
No, absolutely. And if anything, I think you make an excellent point, at least from where I'm sitting, about tokenism. It's one thing for people, because how do you know the press doesn't do an article just because they want the am I still here? Okay, it's fine. Oh, is our connection okay? Oh wait, you are here. Yes. Okay.
It glitched up for a second. I think we're back.
We're back?
Yeah, I'm monitoring on the phone. So.
Okay. Okay, I think we're okay.
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so what I was saying is that how do you know the press isn't focusing on you or the label just because it's like, something that's in the spotlight, and because these issues are becoming more predominant,
There's also this feeling, for everybody it's underrepresented. I think there's this feeling of like, feeling like them, hey, I hate using the group words, but like media and whatever is just checking a list off and going, okay, we got those. Now do we get these guys? And, I definitely feel like that some too. So yeah, no, I don't think you're being radical. I think you're nailing it on the head.
It's like, I think it's practical thinking. Yeah. I think it's pragmatic thinking, because it's like, it's like, okay, that's nice. Where's the proof? Yeah. I like it.
It's like, it's great.
Just, yeah, I feel like
matter, but
yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of, I'm not like, I say stuff like it is, and I don't care. Like, I've never cared if like that shit costs me opportunities or anything like that. Like, for me, I have one goal in mind, and the goal in mind is, like I said, I'm not trying to make money fast, and I'm not trying to like be famous and rich and all that stuff. I'm not interested in that if like outside my window my people are still dying. You know what I mean? And so for me, that's my goal up until like every day that I see like a Black trans person got murdered, I'm not celebrating, because I know music can like help in a way. I know music can help because music has always helped us. And I know there's a reason why we're not in the music industry yet, because music is healing for Black people, and right now they don't want Black people to heal. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I'm like, yeah, share the mission statement, but I want you to share the music as well. And especially because I have a duty to my artists, I'm bringing them into those facilities. I'm getting them all that press and stuff. And then it's like, okay, but I got to follow up after that, Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what it is. And I'm really, yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm also like very like a little like, yeah.
No apology
was the word, but like, yeah, this, I don't know. Because especially like I said, like it's just hard to like be happy for stuff. Like the other day, and that's like fucked me up this whole weekend. But like the other day, I was walking my dog like 2 days ago, and 3 days ago, I don't even remember. Yeah, and I was walking my dog, and I saw like 15 police officers like kneeling on like this dude's back, the same way they were kneeling on George Floyd's back, and like I started going live and I started recording it, and I know if I hadn't done that, like I don't know what would have happened. And for me, it's like those are the images that stay in my mind, and I'm having a very hard time celebrating, because I know that like that video is why people are paying attention. But why did George Floyd have to die for you to pay attention to us? And for me, it's like it doesn't feel like those. I feel guilty in a way, because like you know what I mean? It's like. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. So for me, it's like, yeah, I'm very much like, yes, I'll celebrate this stuff for one night and stuff like that. But then it's like the next day, like the world hasn't changed. There's still work to do, So.
You party when the work's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to party when the work is over. It's not even close to done. But no, I thank you for speaking so like fully and verbosely about this, because it can be hard. I think because we're live on the internet right now. It can be hard to have these conversations even just with your friends, I would say. I think it's very courageous of you to sort of be really upfront about where you're at and what your goals are and what your goals are for yourself and the label and how you feel about everything. Because honestly, I think it also inspires courage in other people to be more, in your community and our communities, like to be more upfront about how they feel about all of these things, So thank you for that.
I want to make sure too that we get information on how we can get people involved with your project. And, I know I would like to get involved and help out where I can, but I know there's tons of people that have got to, know about it so they can help.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can follow us at Transgenders everywhere. Transgenders with a Z at the end. Mm-hmm. And on Instagram, on like we have a link tree. If you do Linktree/transgenders, then you'll find all the links. Our website is cute, but like we have a hard time updating it regularly because it's only two of us, doing the full job and stuff. So it's a lot of work, but we're trying our best. I think the website looks cute. We're dropping a lot of merch soon. We're also like the songs that are coming out of the Ghostly Beats project, the song that have been recorded at Studio G. They're gonna start coming out in October. And listen, you're not ready. That's all I gotta say. Anyway. It's like, yo, the music is lit. Like, yeah, no, we have the best roster ever. Not bragging, that's just what it is, you know. But yeah.
All right.
So on that note, I would love to hear some of your music, and I'm gonna see if I can post this comment here. Can I do it? Can I show the comment? Ha! Melanie Owens says love to Black Cxsper.
Thank you. Okay, let me join in with my phone. So I'm
Yes,
gonna mute myself
do it.
here. Just so.
If we change this, we'll go full screen.
Yeah, I think we can go full screen.
So while during the performance.
Yeah, so Cxsper, just so you know, we're gonna go full screen for your performance. So you might not see us for a minute. What happened?
Switching.
He's
devices.
switching. Yeah, okay. Device not connected.
Just give it a second.
Yeah. Add to stream.
There you go. And then make that.
And then
full
make
screen.
this full screen. I think I can.
Yeah, do that.
All right. Hold on. Let me set up something
Follow it out.
here. So,
All right.
So just so you know, I was in a vibe today, and kind of what I talked about before. I was in like, yeah, sometimes I feel weird about entertaining people with everything that's happening. So I wrote a song, and I'm gonna perform it with the lyrics here because I don't know the song by heart because I literally finished writing it 10 minutes before I got on this call. Check. If you can't hear me at all, please like interrupt me and stuff.
Okay.
Make sure y'all can see me.
So far, so good.
Okay. This song gets me very emotional. I'm sorry. And I'm in denial, and it don't take no X-ray to see right through my smile. I know I'll be on the guard, and there ain't no drink they make that can numb my soul. I know all we wanna do is take the chains out. All we wanna do is take the chains out. All we wanna do is be free. All we wanna do is be free. All we wanna do is take the chains off. All we wanna do is take the chains off, yeah. Can you tell me why? Every time I step outside, I see my people die. No, I'm letting you know that there ain't no condiment that can kill my soul. All we wanna do is take the chains off. All we wanna do is take the chains off. All we wanna do is be free. All we wanna do is take the chains off. All we wanna do is take the chains off, yeah. I'm feeling like dancing right now. I know y'all want your entertainment. I'm feeling this now. I don't care that I'm exhausted and y'all need to understand now. I can't just take a break cause my main job is to be surviving, yeah. No trigger warning for this trans nigga. I'm tired of walking in this world like I don't matter. I'm tired of feeling like a failure cause I can fit into your norms and can my voice keep getting louder. And if y'all see me as a villain, well, I don't give a fuck. If I'm done doing this privilege, I just don't fuck. Yeah, I don't wanna be celebrating when people are dying, cause yeah, all we wanna do is take the chains off, yeah, all we wanna do is be free, all we wanna do is be free, yeah, all we wanna do is take the chains off, yeah, all we wanna do is take the chains off. This song was like performed by J. Cole when Mike Brown died, and then yeah, I added that last verse that I fucked up, but I just wrote it, so that's why I fucked it up. Also, I don't care. Yeah,
That was incredible.
This next song is called Bleu, Blanc, Noir, and yeah. It's a different vibe because I can't be sad the whole time. You feel me? Hey, hey, yeah. Je suis en bleu, blanc, noir. Je mexicaine, mais tu peux pas m'avoir, mec. Je suis rapide comme la scie, menace comme Cathy. Rajoute de la merde et je débloque à la Fanny, yeah. Ouais, je débloque à la Fanny, yeah. Je t'ai fait taire à la orgie, yeah. Tu sais déjà ce que je veux? Invincible à la Henry, yeah. Yo, cat like Sam, running through hate like my last name Jackson, yeah. Young rock and roll ham, but they underestimate. I come at them like, oh yeah. Maximiliano, I go Katniss, Maximiliano, yeah. Maximiliano, I go Katniss, Maximiliano. I stay loyal to my team. Whether we win or we lose, and I stay loyal to my team. I stay loyal to my colors. I stay loyal to my dreams. Want us to bring home that copper. Really want to see us win. Si en bleu, blanc, noir. Sans bleu, blanc, noir. Bleu, bleu, blanc, noir. C'était bleu, blanc, noir. Alors, Impact FC. Montréal Impact FC. Impact FC. Montréal Impact FC. Yeah. Hey, blue, white, black, I mean, that's what bleu, blanc, noir means. Bleu, blanc, noir means blue, white, black. Blue, white, black. So this is what it's all about. I'm in blue, white, black. On est une bitch en mode back to back. Numéro 8 sur le terrain, l'ennemi ne me dérange pas. Je reste docile à la reine là. Je les humilie dans leur style. Je retourne les tables en mode gros man. I know I'm making you mad, but I was a fan, but we about to show them. I stay loyal to my team. Whether we're winning or we lose, and I stay loyal to my team. I stay loyal to my colors. I stay loyal to my dreams. And they're about to play tonight, and you know we're gonna win. Fuck Toronto, what's up, y'all? Bleu, blanc, noir. Sans bleu, blanc, noir. Et bleu, bleu, blanc, noir. C'était bleu, blanc, noir. Alors, Impact FC. Montréal Impact FC, yeah. Impact FC. Montréal Impact FC, yeah. Yeah. Bleu, blanc, noir. Bleu, blanc. Yeah. Yeah. Montréal Impact FC, yeah. Yeah. Montréal Impact FC, yeah. Hey. I had another song for y'all.
Yes. Let's hear number 3. Although I don't think that you can hear us.
Then, wait. That was like, sorry. I'm like, I have to record at the same time. But okay.
Gonna mute again.
This song is called Night. Yeah. Turn out the light and pull out the wire. Roll out the lights. I'm watching you wire. Tell me why you want it like fire. I'll take to you what I can give you. Anything make you so scared. The pussy city. It's a different world. I'm on that when she. My words in between you. Yeah, yeah. Being night in the street, baby. You're tied in the sheets, baby. Being night in the street, baby. you're my favorite song. I've dreamed about you for so long. Every day and every night, I think about you all the time. Skin glowing underneath the moonlight. Every sense awakening me alright. Waiting for the sun to shine. Got everything you do feels right. Yeah, you're not in the streets, baby. You're hiding in the sheets, baby. Being not in the street, baby.
Woo! Black Cxsper. Yeah, I know. I know. Black Cxsper cannot currently hear me, but I have to cheer anyway. Or maybe you can.
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Ah, yes!
Yeah. Woohoo!
Incredible. That was
Yes,
so
that's what I'm talking about.
Oh yes. Wait, okay, we gotta get everybody back in the thing now. Oh
There we
yes,
go.
here we go. Here we go. Wait, I think I can take Cxsper, are you gonna stay on your current? Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Awesome. Oh my gosh. What an incredible evening. I just before well, first of all, Cxsper, we're gonna say all of those songs were incredible. I was most familiar with the last one in particular. So I've been like it's been bumping in my my stuff lately. But yeah, incredible music. And so everybody, I mean, what an incredible time. I've got some questions to pose to the group as a whole, and I'd love some discussion on, and especially since everybody has differing experiences. You know, Cxsper's international and from a different generation. So the big one of the big ones for me is like, how would you describe the culture that you grew up with? You know, both like musically, interpersonally, whatever, and the culture now, and sort of what do you think is different? What do you think has changed for better, and what do you think has changed for the worse, I suppose? And whoever wants to take it first can feel welcome.
Well, since I'm the oldest, I'm just gonna do it like this. For me, I know that my generation has experienced racism the way things have always been. Nothing has changed. The only thing that changed is that we're filmed now. It's on camera. It's everybody has a camera. Everybody's filming, and even then, you're not capturing everything that is happening to Black, Indigenous people of this land and people of color. You're not, trans folks, LGBTQ community. You're not even capturing the hatred that goes on. Sometimes I think it's not even so much the racism as it is people's hatred for somebody else. It's a hatred. It's horrible, is what it is. But I think that there is a difference, as in people are fighting back. People are no longer, putting up with the nonsense. It's nonsense, is what it is. I have I come from a Christian background, so I believe that we can overcome things if we just speak to each other and talk to each other, if we have an open and honest communication with one another. I don't have to always agree with you, but I do have to respect you, and I expect that same respect in return. As I said, sometimes it's as simple as just doing the right thing. I think we make things a lot harder than they have to be. So that's my take on culture these days.
Would anyone else like to jump in? Can I call on someone?
I'll let Black Cxsper. You can go next.
Yeah, for me, I mean, it's kind of wild how fast the culture has changed when it comes to LGBT questions, for example. Because yeah, I'm 28 now, but so when I was in high school, I got detention for being, you know, a lesbian at the time. France has a very different culture when it comes to everything, marginalized people. Asking somebody's like race and talking about race is like insulting to people, so we don't talk about it. So because we don't talk about it, we don't face the problems. So that's one thing. And France is, you know, a lot of people like picture France as being this very white country, but it's like there's so much immigrants. There's so many people who, you know, people of color. Like I grew up surrounded by people of color my whole childhood, and that's the France I know, you know. But I can't be myself there, and so for me, that's also why I call myself a migrant and not an expat, because it's like I'm in Canada not because like I just want to travel. I'm in Canada because I can't be myself where I come from. You know what I mean? And yeah, and then when it comes to everything else, like I've witnessed, you know, I've lived in a lot of different places, and even living in West Africa, a lot of people tell you like, I don't know, a lot of people, you know, think that like, oh, if white people go to Africa, the racism is reversed over there. It's like, no, racism is everywhere, even in countries where like it's black people everywhere. The one white person that's going to walk the street is going to be better treated. You know what I mean? And for me, it's like growing up mostly with my mother, as somebody that's like, you know, racially like ambiguous, people have a tendency to like assume that, I am whatever they're like the most scared of at the time. So in the States, I'm going to be Mexican. In France, I'm going to be Middle Eastern. In Canada, I'm going to be Indigenous. You know what I mean? Like people just assume that like I'm whatever. Yeah, it's like I'm just like the person of color, you know? And at the same time, that means that like my experience is not the same as like other black people, because I have like a lot of privilege when it comes to like my appearance and how I present myself. And I also think that's a big part of why, you know, I managed to get transgenders to where it is now, is because like I'm light skinned and my manager is white, you know. And I think that's a big part of it. But I also think for me, like it's also a big reason why I have to fight for my people, because I can have access to spaces that they don't have access to. And so it's my job to like, when I get into those spaces, to like open the doors and be like, okay, well, y'all are coming in now, you know. And that's also one of the reasons that I started transgenders, is because I don't want to be the token black trans person in the room. And it's like people in the room are not even going to know I'm black until I say it. You know what I mean? So anyways, there's like a lot of, layers. But for me, it's like a different, even though I feel like the States, everything that's happening, and or like the rest of the world is kind of like saying, oh, the States is such a racist country because of everything that's happening. The state, the government, all of that, that's completely true. But when it comes to like activists, when it comes to black people, when it comes to like the radical people in the States, y'all don't understand how far ahead you are in front of everybody. In Canada, we're still debating whether or not systemic racism exists. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, in the States, Teen Vogue is like how to, you know, be a better ally and fuck white supremacy. You know what I mean? And so I feel like there's so many different layers, but like in France, we're not there yet. You know what I mean? Like activism is so far, it's still very, very hard, and you're seen as very radical. You're seen as like an extremist just for saying systemic racism exists, you know? In Quebec, it's the same thing. And like you know, Canada is not like perfect. It's a very, very white country that does a lot of very, very fucked up things when it comes to Indigenous people and black people. You know what I mean? And so, so I think there's layers. And honestly, for me personally, I know that like the States is where I have community and is where I have family and is where I feel the most seen and heard and loved and cared for, because that's where the Black community is so tight and there's so much love and so much support that is very hard to find around the world sometimes. And so I don't know.
Incredible answer.
I guess if I could, I'll piggyback on what Lady A and Black Cxsper said and say, culturally speaking, as a Black man in America, listen, I'm tired. I am literally tired. I'm tired, so many times, and with this whole pandemic, we've all been working remotely and having church remotely. But one good thing about it is I don't have to be Black John. I can just be John, right? Because when I go out in public, I got to do a lot of code switching depending on where I am. My voice can't be too low or people will get offended and call HR, and it's the crisis management who will come. John, we noticed your voice was different. They don't say that, but that's what they're saying. And the problem is that I don't understand why people have such a hard time accepting people for who they are, but let an extraterrestrial come down. Oh, they'll accept them in a minute. E.T. will get all the benefits and everything else, but if we're people of color, there's a problem. So listen, as a Black man in America, and I'm sure I can speak for all the Black men and Black women and people of color and indigenous people, we are tired. It doesn't make sense that we're still having these same discussions in 2020. It makes absolutely no sense. We're literally repeating history over and over. And so one good thing about culture-wise, and I think Lady A hit on this, we have the advantage of cell phones. We see things in real time. And the good thing about that is that now people believe us because they're seeing it with their own eyes and they're outraged. They're like, I can't believe this has happened. It's been happening. There's nothing new. Our pain is not trending. It's been going on. But culture-wise, everybody can see it in real time. The proof is right there. And another good thing culture-wise for independent artists, we have the use of social media on our side, like Lady A versus Lady anti-BLM, right? Right. We have people are seeing things happen in real time. And you know what? The thing is that it benefits independent artists because culturally speaking, the voice of the people is louder. People are seeing the facts for themselves. They don't have to rely on, we're thankful for the news medias and the outlets, but public opinion is louder now more than ever. And we need public opinion to be loud come November. Because listen, we got changes we got to make and we got to bind together. Black Cxsper, you hit on this. Nowadays, voices that are in common can come together and be louder than we've ever been. So we need that to bring about change because the change we need has to do with policy change. Right? We need policies to be changed. Otherwise, we're just going to keep repeating the same thing over and over. So culturally speaking, we need one voice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. This actually brings me into the next question I wanted to ask, which is for the group. What do you guys think are the most pressing things that need to change? Either in a bullet pointed list or sort of like a broader cultural spectrum. And, where do you see us headed, individually? I guess depending on if those changes are met or not. And anybody who'd like to chime in can.
Lady A is the oldest. She should probably.
Lady A.
Oh, I see. Oh, it's like that right there. Okay.
Age before beauty.
Okay. What was the question again?
Okay, wait, I got you. Wait. Okay.
Well, from your perspective,
what are the most pressing things that you think need to change, like culturally or even just like, specifically? And where do you think we're headed?
There are so many things that need to change that it's just, and it's not even so many things. It's the same things. Stop killing Black people.
That'd be a good place to start, right?
It's the same thing. Stop killing Black people. It's simple. I mean, for Black folks, it's just murdering us on TV.
Yeah.
Stop thinking that that's okay. Stop thinking that when you're, teach your children to stop staring at us in the store. That tells me you're not around Black folks. Have a conversation with your children about race. Because we are, there are so many things that need to be changed. First, I mean, if you want to go down the list is too long. It's like John said, for me, policy needs to change. I say rip up the Constitution and start over because it was never for about all of us anyway. It's not we the people that what I'm talking about, Black Cxsper. It wasn't us. That Constitution needs to go. We need to start over. Put a woman in charge. Kev Mo. Shout out to Kev Mo. I love that song. There's just so many things. I want the killings to stop. The trauma that Black folks, indigenous people of this land, Black Cxsper was talking about Canada. I have quite a few friends who live in Canada, and the indigenous people, the Native Americans, they go through what Black folks are going through in Canada. So they're the Black folks in Canada. Things could be just so much simpler if we just have a conversation. If you don't understand something about somebody, talk to them. Ask them, talk to them, ask a question. Stop being so scared that you're going to lose your privilege that you've had all these years. And yes, I'm talking to white people. Stop being afraid. Stop being afraid. I mean, we have to quit tiptoeing around people because honest conversations are what need to be had. I run a panel called The Truth is Loud. I wrote the song first, and then I started this panel, discussions about, and it's for white allies, people who say they want to be allies. Don't talk. We don't need to hear you talk. We need to see you do, which means vote these racist this racist government we have, because let's just be honest, that's what it is. And then Black folks, I'm gonna talk to you too. Stop getting in a position to where you have a position of power or so-called power, because you're only going to get as much as they allow you to have in so-called power. And then you don't reach back and help the very people that you stepped over to get to, or the very people that helped you get there. Stop that. Stop that. Not just Black folks, Latinos, my Latino brothers and sisters, LGBTQ folks, all y'all, stop that. Because we all need to come together, and we all can make it. There's enough room for all of us to make it. I think that there's so much wrong with the police, that they're militarized. I mean, that's the first thing. Let's get that off the table. Stop killing us, and stop sending these militarized policemen in there like they go into war. And this is against everybody. It ain't just about Black folks. Now, our protesters, God bless our young people for being out there protesting. I used to protest. I can't do it anymore. But I just think that there's a simple solution, and it's called communication and love. Because once you sit down and have a conversation with somebody over some music and some coffee or some food, how can you be mad? Go out and ask somebody to go to breakfast with you. You gonna be mad at breakfast? Come on, have a conversation with some people. Stop being so afraid that somebody is here to take something from you. We are here to share in the wealth. There is enough for everybody. There's enough for everybody in this world. There should be not one homeless person. Our veterans should not be fighting. Our medical, we shouldn't have to fight. I shouldn't be afraid to go to a doctor thinking that the doctor's not going to give me the same care that they're going to give a white person. And it has happened, so I don't want to keep going on and on because I could. So I'm just going to leave it there. Have a conversation with people.
Yes, absolutely. It's an excellent place to start because all of those are all the incredibly important, well-known facts.
I mean, that's what's under attack is our ability to talk to each other. That's the bad part about
exactly.
How social media goes wrong. All of it. It's just we can't talk to each other.
Right. I should not be afraid to go to the grocery store.
I don't leave the house anymore.
And there are times when I am afraid to go out of my house and go to the grocery store because, for one, because I know how I am. That's kind of way to me because I'm out to say something to you. The other and I'll be real about that. I mean, I've seen some of the things that people have done to BIPOC folks in a grocery store. Spit in my face? Really? Hit one of my kids? Really? Yeah. Is that where we are, where you think that that's okay, that you can do that and you don't expect us to fight back?
Right.
You got a U.S. senator saying that he's going to kill the very Black folks that are walking down the street with guns in Louisiana, but yet y'all just went to the courthouse with guns. So and you're going to shoot the Black folks with the guns. So it's okay for you to have guns and walk to the courthouse, but we can't. Oh, okay. Yep. For the people in the back, did you hear that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna stop now.
No, never stop. Are you kidding? Wait, okay. I have to add the Cxsper had to switch devices.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No problem. Cxsper, do you want to pick it up? Because I think Lady A laid down a real great foundation.
Yeah. Honestly, so I've thought about this for many, many years now. And I think I have a program that you would all agree I should be president. First of all, I think every senator, I think every government person should be paid minimum wage. I think the minimum wage would be raised really fast. Really fast. I think I think all of a sudden everybody would get health care. You know what I mean? So first, that was my first thing. If you have to make the place, you have to travel and stuff to do rallies and stuff. Well, you're not allowed to have your own bus. You got to take public transit. Watch the public transit get evolved really fast, because that's the thing. When you see how much they're paid, how are you gonna have the best? How do I not know that you're not doing this for the money? It doesn't, there's not, obviously I'll take the job if you give me that amount of money and I won't do nothing, knowing that they're allowed to go in the Senate and just sleep. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Those people don't even have to work. They're not working. They're just bullshitting. That's all they're doing. So anyways, so that's the first thing. Put them on minimum wage. Sit back and watch how fast the world changes. All the billionaires, that should be illegal. No billionaires. No, once you get you get $1 million, do you really need that much more? What's your fucking problem? I'm sorry for I'm French, so I'm not sorry. That's my language. I curse. That's what I do. But anyway, you're rich. You could save the whole planet if you just if Jeff Bezos mysteriously disappeared tomorrow and his fortune was redistributed to Black people, the world would change really, really fast. You know what I mean? And I feel so that's why, and abolish all of those systems in place that have been put in place to destroy Black people. Let's not forget where the police comes from. You know what I mean? The police, how can you make something that protects Black people out of something that was built to literally enslave us? You know what I mean? So so for me, I feel it's not that complicated. Like I said, just put them on minimum wage, abolish the police, and go back. Honestly, I think one thing that we can do that would show us that it's actually not that complicated to change the world like that is listen to indigenous people and how they organize in their culture and how everything they do it's based around community. You know what I mean? And I think that's the real thing. And I also think borders are fucking things up because I'm not trying to live next door to a Nazi. Like, you can go in your old gated community. I'll go with my people in my gated community. We don't have to interact. Like, I know, Lady A, you said we have to have a conversation with people, but some people I don't want to have a conversation with. I just want you to be far away from me. I don't want to have, you know what I mean? Because in the end, like, what makes me proud of being a Montrealer is not the same thing that's going to make this white racist Quebecer proud to be a Montrealer. You know what I mean? We don't have nothing in common. Why are we in the same place? We don't need to be there. You know what I mean? Just like, stop wanting to own the whole world.
But that's not true. You do have something in common.
We live in Canada.
You have something in common. I mean, I can say the same thing here, but I could walk up to somebody that's racist. We do have something in common. We all want to live. We all want to breathe. We all want our families to prosper. We got stuff in common. Nobody, you know, we can't say that we don't, because we do.
Right.
We do. We all want to live. We all want to prosper. We want our children to live. We want our children to prosper. We want to do well on this planet. So just a communication don't mean you're gonna get along with everybody. I'm not saying that. We ain't gonna have that kumbaya moment with everybody. But you know, but it starts with a conversation. All you got to do is respect the person. You know, I would want you to respect me. You know, I'm just go ahead and finish. I'm gonna be quiet.
I know, I completely get that. Yeah,
I think
just
you know,
for me, like, respect
Sorry.
stops when people want me to die. You know what I mean? If you want me to die, and if you think I'm an abomination and stuff like that, well, I'll respect you, but from a distance. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to, like, that's also a thing.
Exactly.
Like,
I pray
don't
for
want
a
to
lot
have
of folks
to
from a
debate my
distance.
existence. So that's, I don't know.
But you're not unique in that.
As long as it
you
comes
know, you're
down
not unique in that. They want Black people dead. So they've been wanting us dead since they brought us over here. So you're not unique in that. What makes you unique is the person that you are, the beautiful person that you are. Don't let somebody change the person that you are just because they are, a somebody. I don't curse. So, but I get what you're saying. But you have to have a conversation with somebody. Now, like I said, I can pray for you from over there. if we don't, connect up, if I hear that all you have is hate in your heart and that can't change, then yeah, I'm gonna be over there. But have a conversation with somebody. You never know. You can be the music that you do and the lyrics that you write may well change somebody's heart. You never know.
I mean, that is kind of having a conversation, You guys are out there putting music out there that's changing people, even if they don't realize it sometimes. And,
Right.
Right. No, for real, it is.
That's why I tell stories.
Absolutely. And John, did you want to chime in here about your thoughts on the spectrum of these things?
Yeah, just really quick. I mean, I agree with a lot of what Lady A and Black Cxsper said, and let me say this, Black Cxsper, please don't get upset with me. I want to pick on you for a minute because you said something that, you said you're French. That's just the way you talk, right? And all of us kind of have things where, like I say, I'm a Black man. That's just how it goes down. But listen, a lot of that is how racism stays ingrained and it's passed down from generation to generation because people say it's just the way we've always done things. That's not okay. So what I feel like we need done as far as policy changes, we need to all work on, not being non-racist. We've got to be anti-racist every single day. And all of us have to work on it because it's not good enough just to be non-racist. Right? We've got to be anti-racist. Every time somebody is racist, it needs to be dealt with. It needs to be talked about, confronted in an articulate manner so that people know that what they're doing is racist. Right? And it's a good season for it now because people's minds are open to having these discussions on allyship and how we can just accept one another for who we are. Isn't that the golden rule, right? Treat others as you want to be treated. Listen, accept people for who they are, right? That's just the way we should all be towards one another. Accept folks for who we are. I mean, I'm telling you, it troubles me that people can accept sci-fi movies, right? They believe in aliens, but if you see a person of color, you're like, oh my gosh, oh, cut it out. This is just ridiculous. So the policy change is one way, but the more common ground that all of us can do is to just be anti-racist. And that involves knowing that being anti-racist is like a lifelong thing that we all have to engage in. Mm-hmm. All of us do. Everybody does. No matter what color you are, all of us have got to be anti-racist going forward, because this is a marathon, not a sprint. And for me, the only real hard way that we can change everything is to do a hard reset. I mean, Lady A, you said rewriting the Constitution, right? Listen, somebody might say that's pretty far out there, but listen, that's a hard reset. What if we just hit the reset button and everything has to just start from the ground up? And you know, like Black Cxsper and Lady A, what if we had people, you know, who were in those leadership positions who were diverse as we are? Mm-hmm. Who cared about, you know, diversity, instead of like when you look at Congress now, it's a sea of white faces. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then a few sprinklings of pepper in there, right?
Yeah, but no.
I mean, and you know, it's sad. Think about it. We just had, you know, President Obama. 2 terms. And it seems like we've gotten so far away from that as far as getting things changed for people of color and diversity. It's tough. Yeah. It's tough.
Well, and I think that when President Obama got his 2nd term, I mean, let's just be honest. Rich white men, because that's where this all starts, that hierarchy is, they just lost their minds. Yeah. Because that's a Black man. They never thought that he would be in office for 2 terms. And, you know, I didn't agree with everything that he did, but I think that he was trying to do his best for the people of the United States. I really do. I think he got blocked a lot of times. That we knew that was going to happen. But there's a way for us. It's so simple, but we make things harder than they have to be. And I think it's a thing of communication and respect for one another. And like John said, and Cxsper, meet each other where we are. I mean, when I meet people for the first time, when I'm doing a show, sometimes I'm tired, I'm hot, I'm tired. Black Cxsper, I know you can identify. Sometimes you don't even want to talk to people after the show. But you know what? I do it for a reason, because those people came to see me, first of all. And secondly, because somebody might need to hear something I say. I've had people walk up to me and say, you know, oh, I really liked such and such a song that you sang. It really resonated with me. You know, or saying, I've had people come up to me and say, because I talk about church, I talk about, you know, my gospel background, and they'll say, will you pray for me at a blues concert? But that's what I want, because that's what I portray. So whatever you put out there, whatever I put out there, I want to get back. So it's that, you know, love your neighbor as you love yourself kind of thing. I want people in my circle. You know, I want those people in my circle that not to just stay in the circle, but once you're in the circle, now you can go out and share some more love with other folks, make a new circle. And from that circle, make a new circle. Like John said, we need to tear up the Constitution.
Wait, I didn't say that. Wait. I didn't say that. Wait. Hold on. Wait. No. Wait. John didn't say that. No.
Stop giving government officials life terms. Like Black Cxsper said, put them on minimum wage. Whenever they start going on vacation, they don't get paid.
Time out. Listen, time out. John did not say to rip up the Constitution. You said that, okay? I said that you said that. Oh, so rewind the tape. No. Okay, you know, Black Cxsper, you said something very interesting too, because listen, music is healing. So as artists, we have an obligation to heal folks. And Neil, I think you said this. by us doing the music that's true to our heart and our souls, that's a way of us reaching people. Because listen, people need hope. And sometimes the only hope they're going to get is from a song. They might be about to give up on life, give up on living, give up on everything, but all of a sudden they turn on iTunes or Apple Music or Spotify and they hear one of our songs. And guess what? They're healed to live another day. So we have an obligation as artists. Listen, that's how we change things. Think about how many movements have started because of a song. Or think about how many songs have come about because of a movement. So as artists, we have an obligation to keep on writing. Go ahead and sing that song. Don't be afraid. Don't be fearful. Listen, have faith that you're going to reach the intended target.
Even if you're not
Those
seeing
hearts and minds, right? We got to go ahead and do it.
Yep. Yep. I think the note, like, I'm probably the least musician present, but even if I think what I've noticed working with this one,
I'm the musician of the two of us, but he's also a creator.
I played drums until I was about 25, and then right. But I think what I've noticed the most is what struck me the most amongst the creative people I've known is that musicians have the ability to touch people most aggressively without ever knowing they did it. So I think that's the thing is the hashtag branding thing Lee came up with is as long as y'all are standing together, you have a chance of making this changing this, and not just musicians but all the creatives. Like, let's get this changed already. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's because
Neil,
it's like the Black athletes. Yeah, it's like athletes.
Yes.
Right.
Athletes, musicians can come together. You have to be intentional. My music is intentional. That's why I'm different than the other blues artists that you hear, because I am actually writing for somebody. It's out of either pain or an experience that I've had, but I'm hoping that I reach somebody, that I touch somebody's heart, that they see, like, the truth is loud. Are they really thinking about the lyrics? Change the World is another song of mine. There's Cabbage and Cornbread. It's about, John wrote that song for me, and it's about, his mom cooking in the kitchen. Some of us, music touches people in a different way, and you never know who you're going to help. So you need to be intentional about what you do. Yeah, it's fun if you make money at it. Do we always make money? No. But when we do it, it's nice. But really, it's about the intention of what you want to present to people and how you want to touch them when you go out there. But, I've been doing it for 30-something years. So, y'all still got time.
Hey, listen, tomorrow's not promised to any of us. We got to take advantage of the days we have left. And Blxck, Cxsper, I think I loved your interview that you had with Lee and Neil, where you were speaking about the industry, because, even like what's going on with Lady Antebellum and this whole situation, they missed a great opportunity to merge a huge artist with independent artists. That was a huge missed thing, because, listen, it could have been a great marriage to show the world that, hey, country music is really reaching out to independent artists. Think about the domino effect that could have had alone. So, but nowadays, culturally speaking, as independent artists, we have fans from all over the world, and we never even have to visit their country. Right, because of all the digital mediums that we have. So, Blxck, Cxsper, I'm telling you, I love that last song you did. I was like, that's not, listen.
That was fire.
I mean, that's something I would have on my playlist. So when I get up in the morning, I'm like brushing my teeth. Yeah, in the circular motion. Yeah. But it give me hope, and help me jumpstart my day. So, as independent artists, I'm telling you all, we have an obligation to be true to ourselves and to our fans and to our communities, to give them some hope.
Yes.
And maybe give hope, folks hope so that Neil will pick up his drumsticks again.
Yes.
And
my friends, my gosh, on this note, this has been an incredible conversation with incredible performances. I can't thank you all enough for being here. Lady A, John Oliver, Black Cxsper. All three of you offered some incredible insight, and yeah, I'm very, very grateful that you all could be here with me. I'm very grateful to Neil for co-hosting with me as the head of Harbinger Entertainment. I want to definitely shout out Jillian and 1 in a Million Media, who are our partners in this. And she's the reason why I really came up with this to begin with. We're going to do a lot more of these, but I hope you guys will want to come back in the future and discuss a little more. And does everybody want to quickly go in a circle and just talk about, where people can find you if they're not aware, which I'm sure they will be. We're going to post links too, but Lady A, do you want to?
Oh, sure. You can you can go to my website at ladyababyblues.com, or if you want information about how to be an ally, you can go to thetruthisloud.info for information and find out when the next conversation is happening. It's a conversation. If you would like to be a part of the Ladies Luncheon, Lady A's 4th annual Ladies Luncheon, please send me an email to Lady A White, which is LADIA_White@gmail.com. Thank you so much, Lee and Neil. I appreciate y'all so much for having me. We do. I really do. Black Cxsper, I'm gonna be downloading your music tonight. I will be playing it on my radio station. Is on Saturdays. Lady A's Black and Blues is on Saturdays from 3 to 5 on NWCZ online radio. I will be playing you on Super Soul Saturday.
I'll send you the song because that song hasn't been released yet. It's gonna drop in the next few months, so I'll send it to you. So you have
okay.
Exclusively and stuff, Yeah.
Yes. So
okay. Do be an exclusive, but I will purchase it. Yeah, please do that, and I will play it. Most definitely. Thank you.
So Black Cxsper, where can we find you? Everything.
Yeah, you can find me everywhere at Black Cxsper. You can also find Trenders at Trenders. So Trenders like TRENDERZ. Right now we have like 6 artists, like myself included. We have Apollo Flower Child, Heather Hills, Jay, Jupiter Gray, Lady London, and we just signed a new artist that I think Lady A you would really love because. So they're a non-binary indie folk artist, indie folk / country artist, and their music is very much about storytelling. So in their music, they like to tell the stories of their ancestors, tell stories about Black people who have been forgotten, and do it via music because, that's another form of storytelling. And I'm really, really excited to work with them. Their name is Lazarus Letcher. And I'm really, really excited. So follow Trenders because I'm just one artist out of a group of amazingly talented people. And they all have a lot to offer and amazing music coming out. So yeah.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much. And John, anything that you want to plug, websites and
Listen, I just want to say thank you, Lee and Neil, for allowing me to be on here. I'm Lady A's producer and her crazy little brother. And Black Cxsper, listen, all the best to you. And listen, God bless all of you. I just appreciate being on here. If anybody wants to find me, all they got to do is find Lady A, and you'll see me somewhere around there.
Yeah, excellent. Well, thank you all so much. This has been the Artists Together Roundtable, and we'll be keeping up with all of you. This is an incredible evening, and have a wonderful night, you guys, and have a wonderful night, everyone who's watched. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.